well. My name is Charles Cotton. I'm the admissions counselor for the Honors College here at Michigan State University. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with you all about honors education and the Honors College here, specifically in a little bit more detail. One of the things I always like to do before I begin rambling about all the various benefits of honors education is I always like to get a sense of what you all already know about honors education. So when you all think of the word honors, you can just yell this out. What's maybe like one word that comes to mind?
Class.
What did you say? GPA, advanced, smart. What else we got? Education. What else? Anything else? Hard work. Does anybody ever think flexibility? Man, like you get a whole lot of this, right? So that's not typically the first thing most people think of when you hear this word honors, right? You typically attribute it to maybe what honors has been for y'all in high school, maybe an advanced placement course or something along those lines. By show of hands, how many of y'all are taking AP, IB, or dual enrollment in high school right now? Most of you, right? And all high schools don't offer those various different things, but when I used to think about the word honors, that's often what I related it to, right? A more challenging version of something that was available that wasn't necessarily quite as difficult. And in high school, it makes sense. The teachers, your parents, they probably mentioned to you at some point in time, hey, if you take these harder classes now, it might make college a little bit easier. You might earn some scholarships because of it, but why would somebody want to do the equivalent of that when they get to college, right? It doesn't really necessarily make sense. You probably heard college is already hard enough. So, honors education is very different from one institution to another. The Honors College here at Michigan State is based off this principle of flexibility, but that's not necessarily the case for every school that you all might decide to apply to. By show of hands, how many of you all know for sure when you apply to college you want to go to a big school like Michigan State? A few of you, that's great. How many of you all know for sure this is way too big, you want to go to a school extremely small in comparison? A couple of those hands also, a lot of those hands actually. How many of you are still on the fence? I have no idea at this particular point. There's some things that I like about big schools, some things that I like about small schools, trying to figure out the best of both worlds. That seems to be the vast majority of y'all. What honors education sometimes is able to do is to make a large university like Michigan State a little bit more smaller, a little bit more manipulatable for you all to get more from your experience in such a big research-one institution. So our primary goal is focusing on how the Honors College can help shape your experience in college, right? The Honors College here, when I'm talking about this notion of flexibility, it's primarily surrounding flexibility within the realm of academics. All students in Michigan State have to take general education courses when you get to college, right? Everybody familiar with general education courses for the most part? These are all those classes you have to take in high school from various different disciplines. Right, you have to take natural science, social science, humanities, writing courses. When you get to college, you have to continue to do those things as well. The big difference between traditional students at Michigan State and our Honors College students is how you go about completing those general education courses. So at MSU, we have a unique word for gen ed. We call them integrative studies classes. They're basically your introductory to courses in all of those various areas. Honors College students don't take any integrative studies courses at all, but instead you have the flexibility to pick from anything that's available from those various different colleges. So an example of that might be maybe a student is interested in studying political science and pre-law. And maybe this same student really hates most things about the world of natural science. They really don't want to have to take chemistry a year. Well, that Honors College student is going to have the flexibility to pick from a much wider array of courses available through the College of Natural Science. Maybe we have a particular course that talks about the effects of global warming on the economy. Maybe that's something that more relates back to your academic goals as opposed to taking organic chemistry. So Honors College students have flexibility to play with courses in that more unique way. So that really focuses on individualizing your program, right? You're going to have an Honors College advisor as well as an advisor in your major area of study who's pretty much there to help you figure out how to craft maybe this more a la carte experience for your education at MSU. They're going to want to know what your larger academic and professional goals might be, maybe upon graduating from Michigan State, and how they can help you get to that a little bit sooner. Well, I'll back up just a little bit. So one of the other things that's of various interest for honors college students is that we often find that high achieving students display multi-potentiality at a much higher rate than their peers. Anybody have an idea what multi-potentiality means? Yeah. Yeah, so 2 root words, multiple potential. The ability to do a lot of things and do a lot of things well. How many of you all have an idea of which one to study when you get to college? How many of you all are on the fence between more than one thing? A lot of you. How many of you all would love to come to college if I was able to tell you that you can spend as long as you wanted to in college without getting a day older and you can study as much stuff as you wanted to with studying more than one thing? A lot of some people like that. Might just go way more in depth in that singular area of interest. This is kind of that root goal of the honors college. You want to make sure that you have the space to explore those multiple potentials. Not only could you be an awesome attorney, but you also could probably be a great teacher or a great accountant or a doctor if the whole blood thing doesn't bother you too much. But it's this notion that there's a lot of things that you can be successful at. And our goal isn't for you to get to college and feel as though you already know what you want to do with the rest of your life, but that you should have this opportunity and space to explore without feeling as though you've been penalized for that exploration, right? We don't want you to feel as though, well, I don't want to dabble maybe in courses in psychology because it doesn't relate to my major. So we give you flexibility to count maybe courses outside of your immediate major towards your general education courses. Some of the other benefits we provide are honors courses. So some of you mentioned, small schools might be for you, or you're on the fence between big schools and small schools. Honors courses are particularly beneficial for students like you. Also, it's very beneficial for students who might be between classes. So what I mean by that is when you come to Michigan State, you'll probably be in some lecture halls that are this size, maybe larger, maybe a little bit smaller. So let's use maybe Intro to Chemistry as an example. So let's say Intro to Chemistry has 300-ish students in that particular section. And you might say, that's a little bit too big for me. Also, I don't know if I want to take Intro to Chemistry because maybe you took the AP version in your high school. But at the same time, you might say, I don't know if I feel comfortable coming into college taking organic chemistry right away. Or it's not the easiest course in the world, and maybe there's 250 students in that class. So you don't know if there's necessarily going to be enough support for you to keep up, right? The honor section of chemistry might fit that gap, right? It's probably going to be around 50 or so students in the honor section of chemistry. It's going to move at a much faster pace than Intro to Chemistry would, but at the same time, it'll better prepare you for organic chemistry that following semester. So that's one of the benefits for honors courses. The other major benefit is just for those students who want to make MSU as small and intimate as they can in the classroom. Those honors courses, which we offer about 180 of them each year, are often positioned in areas where we typically have larger sections related to them. One of the other benefits is honors options. So this opportunity for students in the honors college is extremely broad. How many of you all have taken a class in high school that you say, well, it was okay, but I was really hoping to learn something that we didn't quite cover in that course? Show of hands, anybody run into that before? A lot of you. What's nice about honors options is this gives you the opportunity to make sure that you cover that piece that you were hoping to get out of that course. Maybe you want to study business, or maybe you're actually interested in going to law school, but you want to be a corporate attorney. Maybe you decide that it might be in your best interest to take an accounting class here at Michigan State. Well, maybe when you look at that syllabus for Intro to Accounting, you see that there's a particular topic that you wanted to learn about that's not encompassed in Intro to Accounting. Let's go with cooking the book. So maybe fudging numbers for accounts at large companies. Maybe that was something you wanted to learn a little bit more about. Well, what you can do is you can actually form a contract with the faculty member with that course to maybe learn a little bit more about that specific topic, either through independent research, either through maybe finding an internship within the field of accounting where you and that faculty member can connect on a weekly basis to talk about the specific thing you're interested in. Maybe there's a particular study abroad program you're planning to participate in that you want to do something a little bit more in addition to there. Other thing that's a big benefit for our Honors College students is graduate coursework. How many of y'all, show of hands, want to go to graduate school? Anybody know that already? A lot of you, okay? How many of y'all would love to take graduate classes while you're working on your bachelor's degree? You get less hands. How many of you all would love to take graduate courses while working on your bachelor's degree if we told you we'll pay the cost difference between the grad course and the undergrad courses? We get more hands that pop back up. Well, sure, yeah, if you're going to pay for it, why would I not take advantage of that? Honors College students actually have the opportunity to take up to 9 graduate credits at the undergraduate tuition rate. That's roughly a semester of most master's programs. What's nice about that unique benefit is, one, this is going to help you demystify graduate school the same way the rigor that you might be involved in high school now is helping you demystify the undergraduate curriculum. The bigger benefit I often say is, unlike maybe an AP course or IB course, there's no special exam you have to take at the end of that class to actually count it for graduate credit, but it's automatically going to transfer to various institutions so long as you didn't take something extremely weird. So everything that we do isn't formally inside of the classroom, but we do some things outside the classroom as well. First and foremost is service learning. How many of you all are involved in your local communities, either in your high school or just through your local neighborhoods? A lot of you are involved there as well. How many of you all would love to continue to do community service when you get to college? A lot of good hands. How many would love to do community service when you get to college if you could get academic credit for it? More hands, even more. So the other benefit about this is we know that learning isn't synopsis with the formal classroom, but that there's tons of ways to get involved within the community, whether it's our local community, your local community back home, internationally, where you can continue to enrich your educational experience, maybe directly relating to your major, doing something that is truly giving back. So not only do we offer honor service options where we might pair you with a faculty member to get highly involved in community service, but we also have some service clubs too if you want to take a little bit less of a formal route to continuing your service. Another benefit, this is one of my favorite parts about the Honors College, is international engagement. How many of y'all want to study abroad when you get to college? Where you want to go? Any idea? No clue. That's fine. Shout out some places. Somebody said Spain, Thailand, Japan. Where else?
India.
India. Any other places? South Korea. It's a good stop. So Michigan State University has nearly 300 study abroad programs. We go to every continent. Anybody interested in going to Antarctica? Perfect. We got some people who would be down to go. We actually go to Antarctica over winter break, which is summer in Antarctica. So for the great state of Michigan, not to scare anybody, it's actually about the same temperature in Antarctica as it is in Michigan during winter break. One of the benefits about international engagement is maybe you find a particular program that is perfect for you as far as the country. Maybe you always wanted to go to Ireland. Maybe what you saw is that the study abroad program had nothing to do with your majors. You said, well, I guess I shouldn't go. I don't want to waste time, quote unquote. But maybe as an honors college student, we can count those study abroad credits towards a different junior education requirement that you need. So flexibility continues even with international engagement. We also might be able to set up a way for you to do independent research, maybe get an internship while you're in said country, or do other things to tie it back into the major or majors in which you are interested in pursuing. So tying that back into research, how many of you all want to get involved in research when you get to college? A lot of hands. How many people would love to do paid research when you get to college? Even more hands. So the Honors College has a couple different ways that students can get involved in research very early in your academic curriculum. One, we have honors research seminars, which is the next slide, which is guaranteed opportunities for our first-year students and second-year students in the Honors College to take an honors research seminar that is often a year long, where you can get involved in learning about research in a small sort of group, maybe 15 to 20 other Honors College students from a faculty member on particular topics that might be of interest to you. In addition to that, we have professorial assistantship. So about 1/3 of the students admitted to the Honors College for the fall come in with a professorial assistantship. Students, in order to get that, need a 1500 on the SAT or a 33 on the ACT, and also to be admissible to the Honors College. But not only is this guaranteed paid research, which is $3,000 your freshman year, another $3,000 your sophomore year, but it's research for anything you want to do research in. It can relate to your major, it can be completely outside of your major. How many of y'all do something, play music? Anybody play an instrument? So how many people are involved in theater? There's some people involved in theater. So sometimes we have a student who might say, well, hey, I'm studying engineering when I get to Michigan State, but I really don't want to do my professorial assistantship in engineering. I know I'm going to do plenty of research in engineering just in general, but I was also highly involved in my theater. I would love to do theater research when I get here. Then we can find you a pairing there as well, and we pay you to do that. So some of that stuff might sound exciting. Some of it might still sound like additional work. For the most part, when we start talking about how does the Honors College help you accomplish different things, we talk about distinguishing yourself. So about 50 to 65% of the students who are in the Honors College decide to go directly off to graduate school at time of graduation. What's nice about that is you'll see that some of these grad programs, and this was just one sample year, are some pretty awesome schools. One of the things I always find funny, my disclaimer is I did not make this slide, our communication manager made the slide, is Michigan State and University of Michigan is like the furthest two schools from each other on the school block. The other benefit though is of those students who don't elect to go directly off to graduate study, we have a 97% placement rate within 6 months of graduation. What's also pretty unique about that is I can't tell you how many students specifically, but we have a big chunk of our Honors College students, because of this flexibility they have with their curriculum, who might have studied completely different things. Maybe they double majored in engineering and music. Maybe another student double majored in business and kinesiology. And that student might be able to find a career field that maybe has only existed for less than 12 months, or might be brand new and was created just for that particular student. Those students are incorporated within this 97% placement rate as well. So some of that stuff might still sound good, but you might say, Charles, I have no idea how to piece together my program if I have all this different flexibility in all these different areas. That's where advising comes into play. So not only, like I mentioned earlier, would you have an advisor in your major, but you're also going to have an Honors College specific advisor in our building who's pretty much your guru for anything and everything in college. This is that person who really wants to know what is it that you hope to accomplish before you graduate. They want to know if you have an interest in potentially exploring more than one major while you're here. They want to know if you have an interest in studying abroad, how often you might want to do that. They want to know if there's some particular clubs or organizations you plan to join, and if you really want to make sure you have time to get involved in undergraduate research and dabble in grad courses. By telling them those various different things, they can start to show you what your time here on campus will look like. When you might want to start exploring those graduate course opportunities, maybe to make sure you take genetics your freshman year, second semester, as opposed to waiting. So you still have a full semester to study abroad in South Korea, I heard somebody mention, at the end of your sophomore year. It's that sort of flexibility that your advisors really help you navigate. In addition to all of the things I mentioned that's co-curricular, we also have some additional outside of the classroom experiences. Our Honors College students have the opportunity to live with other Honors College students as well. Honors housing in Michigan State is completely optional. One of the things I did mention before we started is we're actually going to have a few students join us in a minute, some that are in the Honors College and some that aren't. You might be able to wait a little bit more as far as some of the questions you might have about maybe living on the honors floor versus not, or some of the benefits they've taken part in. But we have honors floor spread out in each of the residential neighborhoods on campus. Have you all heard about the neighborhood model at all yet? So each of our residence halls are grouped to various different neighborhoods on campus, where you're going to have a whole bunch of additional resources pretty close to you, right? Dining options, a nurse that's available, tutoring for particular courses and subjects. What would be something else? Some convenience stores if you just need to grab a bag of chips or something in your free time. In addition to that, we also have specific Honors College student groups as well. We have multicultural student groups, international advisory boards, student activities group, Dean's First Year Council, where you get to help advise the dean or counsel the dean on some of the things in which you believe is of interest to the student population. So in addition to that, scholarships is very important. How many of y'all are from out of state? How many of y'all are from Michigan? Nice. So scholarships vary from between our out-of-state and in-state students. But one of the things that's very important is applying to MSU relatively early. If you're interested in joining the Honors College. There is no binding application at MSU, so you can never apply too early and be locked in or anything like that. We operate on rolling admissions, which means the sooner you apply, the sooner you hear back, which is nice. It typically takes 10 to 12 weeks for a student to find out if they're admitted to Michigan State. After that, it typically takes 6 to 8 weeks before you hear back from the Honors College. So there's a pretty lengthy time frame that's attributed to that. As an out-of-state student, just by being admitted to the Honors College, you're going to get $15,000 off tuition each year for 4 years. If you come in with a 33 or higher on the ACT or 1,500 or higher on the SAT and are admitted to the Honors College, you're going to get in-state tuition. Plus, you'll have that guaranteed paid research opportunity. For our in-state students, if you come in with that 33 or higher, 1,500 or higher, you're going to get $5,000 off tuition each year for 4 years, plus that guaranteed paid research opportunity. Any student admitted to the Honors College who made sure to apply before November 1st will get an invitation to our Alumni Distinguished Scholarship Competition. This is an opportunity for you to come back to campus and compete for full ride scholarships, additional study abroad funding, $2,000 and $3,000 awards. So it's an awesome time to be on campus, not only to compete for scholarships, but also to mix and mingle with faculty members who maybe wrote half of a textbook you have to read, regardless of what school you decide to go to next year. So joining the Honors College is pretty simple. You just have to continue to do well in high school, continue to take those rigorous courses that your school offers, but there's no separate application. Okay, so checkbox, then you have to mark in the general MSU application to indicate interest. We consider every student who's been admitted to MSU for eligibility for the Honors College. So we're automatically going to be reviewing your academic profile. Okay, and that's why that application, when we send out your invitation letter, it takes a little bit longer. What we list on our website is our averages. So to kind of give students a sense of who our Honors College students are. The average ACT for the Honors College is a 31, and the average SAT is a 1420. You don't have to have those numbers to be admissible into the Honors College, but that just kind of lets you know they're looking for students in that ballpark. If your test scores happen to be maybe somewhat significantly lower in comparison to that, you just need to start thinking about how does my academic program really reflect who I am, because that's probably 60% of the equation. To us, your GPA and the rigor and strength of your schedule is a little bit more important than your test scores, right? You are not competing against students from your state. You're not competing against students from your home school for admittance into the Honors College. We don't have a cap, per se. The only thing you're competing against is the standard of what's available to you in your local high school or local community. We're going to be reviewing your application individually, and we might say, well, from this particular high school, we know that school offers 30 AP courses, so we actually are hoping to see a decent chunk from the student there. Another student school might not offer AP or IB courses, but maybe that school has a dual enrollment program where you can start taking classes at your community college. We might be looking for those students. The reason why we're really looking for high rigor in your program is because a lot of the benefits we offer in the Honors College are optional, right? So our biggest thing that we're looking for is students who've already been doing those optional things in high school, so we can assume that you're going to take advantage of the beneficial and optional things we offer. So with that, don't really need to worry about the next steps now. I want to invite the current MSU students up here. We'll have them introduce themselves. But now it's really time for you to ask them questions, and if you have specific questions for me, that'd be great as well. So you all want to join us? Perfect. So what we're going to start by doing, if you all don't mind introducing yourself, maybe obviously your name, where you're from, what you're majoring in at MSU, and then whether or not you're in the Honors College, that'd be great.
Hi everybody, welcome to Michigan State University. My name is Anna Cumming. I'm a senior in the Honors College from Rochester, Michigan. I'm earning a double bachelor's in history and political science and law with minors in anthropology, women and gender studies, and Jewish studies. I am the Honors College.
Perfect. That's it.
That's it, all right.
Hi everybody, my name is Amber John. I'm from Davis, Michigan. I'm studying political theory, constitutional democracy, and James Madison, as well as economic geography and applied social science with a minor in geographic information sciences. And I am in the Honors College.
Hi, y'all know me. I'm Lauren Pepper. I'm a sophomore in the Honors College from Dayton, Ohio, majoring in zoology and public policy with a minor in linguistics.
You also know me. I'm Ezra. I'm a rising freshman going to Michigan State, and I'm going to be in the James Madison College, but I haven't declared my major yet.
And you're also being the honors college too, right?
Yes, I'll be in the honors college.
So everybody up here actually is current honors college member joining us here shortly in the fall. So now is your time, right? It's your opportunity to ask some current students maybe questions just about the college experience in general, maybe about college applications, maybe about other schools they're considering, but what questions do some of you all have?
When y'all have too many questions during lab, you don't know questions now.
Oh, everybody's always shocked for that first one. Yeah.
Your opinion, what's the biggest perk of being in the honors college?
So what's your biggest perk of being at an honors college?
I would say definitely the flexibility. I know next semester I'm taking a graduate course through the history department, so that's going to be cool to be able to fulfill my honors options while exploring something new. Also getting out of a lot of the freshman prerequisite courses is really nice, so definitely flexibility. The advisors are great too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say flexibility again, but it really helped me to find my second major. One of the classes that I took to fulfill my gen eds actually led me to my second major, and I am taking a grad course this fall to get ready for grad school, because grad school is actually kind of almost expect at this point to see some sort of rigor in your undergraduate schedule, such as a graduate course. And just further, I've been able to form really close relationships with my professors because of honors sections and options.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely the unique connections you get with professors. Like, I'm a professorial assistant. I got one of those paid research positions, and I'm currently working with a vet med professor and active veterinarian in the MSU College of Veterinary Medicine working on feline neurology, and I'm getting paid to do that. It's sick. So I would never be able to do that if, like, I wasn't in the honors college, and it's completely unique opportunities.
So I haven't actually attended a single class yet or anything, but all that stuff sounds cool.
I think you have a question all the way in the back. So basically, it's kind of a two-part question. The first part was highlighting this opportunity to take graduate courses while working on your bachelor's degree. And then the secondary portion of that question was, realistically, how long does it take, or do you anticipate, since you all haven't graduated yet, it's going to take you to graduate from Michigan State? So maybe a bigger question to add on to that is, you know, with all of the stuff that you might be thinking about doing while you're here at Michigan State, how long do you think it's going to take you all to graduate with double majoring, etc.?
I know like access to grad courses. I actually picked my grad course. I knew a professor. I've taken a couple classes with her, and she's my senior thesis advisor. So she is teaching that grad course, and she kind of welcomed me into that class and invited me to take the class. As far as time to graduation, I will be graduating a year early, and that's due to my work in high school. I have a lot of transfer credits, so if you work hard in high school, you can knock it out pretty fast. So I'm done in 3 years so far.
I got connected with my grad course through my advisor. He offered it to me as a possible substitution for my major requirements because he knew I was in the honors college. So all I did was just I reached out to the professor, he approved it, and it was pretty easy, and I'm really excited. I already have the syllabus. And then what was the second part? Oh, my time to graduation. So I will be here the full 4 years, but I am graduating on time. Unfortunately, some of my classes didn't transfer. James Madison is like, we don't trust you. So I'm still going to be here for 4 years, but I'm happy to be here for 4 years.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be taking any graduate courses or not, because I want to go to veterinary school, and a professional school like that often, and in the case of Michigan State, does not let undergraduates take their courses. But I am going to graduate in 4 years. However, if I wanted to, if I didn't have a second major and a minor, and because of how great the Honors College in Michigan State is in accepting AP credits, I could be out in 2.5 years. And since the Honors College is so, all of my scholarships are through the Honors College, and I'm paying a ridiculously low amount of money to go to a school this great, so I can take the extra 1.5 years and not bankrupt myself, which is pretty awesome.
How many of y'all are interested in potentially studying pre-vet or veterinary studies or animal science? Anybody? So a couple of you. So one of the unique benefits is honors college students actually can apply to the vet school just over a year early. So that's something that's pretty unique too. What other questions do we have? Yeah.
I noticed a couple of you said that you were at the James Madison Residential College. What are the benefits of being a residential college?
So her larger question, in case people didn't hear in the back, is she asked what is some of the benefits of being in one of the residential colleges on campus. We have 3 residential colleges. James Madison College, which they clearly will be able to explain. Lyman Grace College, which is primarily situated for students with a major within natural science. And then we have one called the Residential College of Arts and Humanities, which is more humanities-based, liberal arts, a la carte program. They all have some similarities, so feel free to share.
I absolutely love James Madison, and I love the residential component. Your freshman year, you all live in Case Hall. If you're in the Honors College, you'll be on 4 North Case. So I got to meet a lot of really cool people who are studying the same things I am. And the first year, you're all in the same classes together, so you really get to know everybody in your program. And even further, like just the connections that you make with your professors, because their offices are also in Case Hall. And I think specifically James Madison, a lot of the honors options are like extra seminars. So like on a Wednesday night at like 5 o'clock, you'll read an extra book and go talk about it with your professor. And that is just really great. You really get to forge personal relationships with your professor. They know what you're interested in. Professors email me like randomly when they find something they think I'll like. You just have this like really intimate bond, and I love these guys.
I mean, I was in Lyman Grace for a little bit. I was pre-med, and the same thing. It's nice to be able to know that your neighbors are also suffering through chemistry, but unlike you, they're enjoying it and not thinking about dropping chemistry as soon as possible. But Lyman Grace is great if you're interested in sciences. You have access to your lab, so if you like to sleep in and you have an 8 a.m. lab, you just roll out of bed. My roommate used to roll out of bed at 7:55 in the morning for her 8 a.m. lab. She'd get there in time, so that's really nice as well to access. Yeah, just walk downstairs. Yeah, put your pajamas if you want.
They really don't care either. It's a pretty small community, so everyone's really close to it.
What other questions do we have? Yeah.
So first off, do you have a business honors school, and secondly, what business honors school is it similar to business?
Yeah, so there isn't a business honors program per se. The Honors College is a little bit more overarching here. So it actually ties and connects to any major or minor on campus. There's nothing that you can study at Michigan State that the Honors College doesn't work with. What it really does is open up more flexibility where you can study business and potentially even study something else or do something a lot more advanced in business because of the flexibility with time. But to kind of get a little bit more situated on that, we do have a residential program for our business students, which is very similar to a residential college, just it doesn't maybe encompass the majority of that building per se, would be a way to look at it, but it would share a lot of the same benefits. I got a question. So why did you all choose Michigan State University? And now we might want to start with Ezra. This is the first question you're going to answer.
All right, so I'm from Austin, Texas, which is many, many miles from here, which begs the question of why I'm going here. And there were a couple of factors. The first is that MSU offered me certain opportunities that I wouldn't have elsewhere. I was admitted to the Honor College, and I also got one of the professorial assistantships, which is a research opportunity that I wouldn't have if I had, say, gone to UT Austin, which is the big state school in my hometown. The second thing is that Michigan State, through the Honors College and through the debate program, offered me substantial financial assistance, which eases my mind a little bit about the burden that I'm placing on my family and also my ability to pay for something like grad school, which is certainly something that I'm interested in. The third thing is that debate was a draw for me. I recommend, for those of you who are like thinking about your options as a senior who are active in debate, that you think about keeping colleges on your list that you would go to if you know near the middle or the end of your senior year that you definitely want to debate. You should keep those routes available to you. It's also okay to apply to colleges that don't have debate programs and that you would go to if at the end of the senior year you're like, man, maybe I don't want to do debate in college. But for me, I knew that if I went to Michigan State, I would have a tremendously supportive debate team that would be giving me access to those opportunities. And I knew near the middle to the end of my senior year that debate was something I wanted to continue in college.
I have very little to add to that. That was very comprehensive. Additionally, MSU's vet school is one of the best in the country. And so their pre-vet program is super comprehensive, and I would not have gotten that basically anywhere else. They also offer you a lot more opportunities for like advanced classes and advanced opportunities than more prestigious colleges would. I applied to Vanderbilt, which is a big name, but I would not have gotten a research opportunity like I am getting now. I would not have gotten these scholarships. I would not be taking these small specialized honors courses that I'm able to take if I had gone to a big name university. So my end of my senior year, I went to some dinky little high school in Ohio, right? Like I wasn't planning on debating, but I knew that that was going to be an option. So I kind of like went to the preseason retreat, and it was really welcoming, and I really enjoyed it. And obviously now I'm on the team. But MSU is great for so many other reasons, even if you don't want to debate in college.
Okay, I chose MSU first because I always felt really welcome when I came to campus. I toured lots of other schools, including UMich, and I just never felt like they actually cared if I came there or not. And then I came to MSU. They were always super welcoming. They were always super excited to hear about like what I wanted to do. And then I ended up getting a really substantial financial aid package called Smart Advantage. I'm from the Flint area, so it's for students in poverty. I really suggest looking into it. You have to be a Michigan resident, but that's kind of why I decided to come here. UMich or like Duke, the other school that I was really looking at, like they didn't really have, Duke has a similar program. But I decided to come here. It was close to home. I always felt at home here. And now that I'm here, I'm so glad I made this decision. If I could go back and tell myself, like, don't waste your time with the other schools, like, I would. And as an aside, I know you're all, like, debate people, but I do Model UN, which is collaborative debate, and we're actually nationally ranked in 8 schools like Yale and Harvard, so if you're interested, Model UN.
I picked Michigan State, which is an honors college. That was my big draw. I was actually going to go to Boston University, but as they touched on, you don't get the same benefits. The honors college offered me opportunities to study what I wanted and how I wanted to do it. It offered me the opportunity to graduate early. Additionally, the access that Michigan State has, I mean, we're in Lansing, and after this I'm going to intern with the state senator. That's how I start my summer. So the access to, if you're interested in politics, we're right in the nation's capital. I think another draw, I'm a tour guide, so I always tell this story to my tours, but my first day of classes at Michigan State, I was horribly lost. I did not know what was going on. I was going to be late. I was freaking out. And I remember some girl stopped her bike on her way to class and said, "Hey, are you lost? Can I help you?" And I said, "Sure, I'm horribly lost. I don't know what I'm doing. What's shadowing? I don't know." So she helped me, and she actually walked through my class. And I'll never forget that. And I think that story encompasses what Michigan State is all about, right? Your professors want you to succeed. Your classmates want you to succeed. Nobody's trying to tear you down. Everybody wants their fellow Spartans to do well. And that's the atmosphere here at Michigan State University.
It's one of the major perks of going here instead of like some super competitive, high caliber universities. Even though the honors college offers similar or better programs and opportunities than a brand name university, there's not that atmosphere of cutthroat kitchen, like really friendly.
And the thing too is that the Michigan State name will carry, right? So if you want to go to grad school, in California or New York, everybody knows Michigan State University. Maybe not for our football program anymore, right? Our team's a little bad this year. But yeah, they know us for basketball. We got basketball, right? We're clinging to that. But the academics, the study abroad, the funding that they get, the research that they do will carry you, and people will know that you've got a great education at Michigan State University.
What's some other questions that you all have? Yeah.
How is managing debate as well as lots of other harder classes that
Yeah. So this question was, how do you all, who are a part of debate, how do you manage to manage all of your class responsibilities, other extracurriculars, and debate? And then even for those of you not in debate, how do you manage all the things you do too? So go ahead.
I'll start because I'm the only one in debate in college right now. Sorry, Ezra.
Yeah.
So it sounds hard. You come to college and you take more difficult courses, and you also want to do this activity that's going to suck up a lot of your time, honestly. But it's very manageable if you go in with the mindset that you can manage it. So, for example, last semester, spring semester, my freshman year, I took 18 credits. Two of my classes were chemistry and physics. So it was a heavy course load, and I was also doing research, and I was also spending 3 to 4 hours a day in the debate office. That sounds impossible, like physically, right? But in the time you're in the debate office, you don't have to be doing debate for 3 to 4 hours to soak up a lot of the benefits of being in the debate office. You can be doing homework while you're there, and in the background, Kelly Watson is having a very in-depth discussion about, the specifics of your affirmative. So even though you are not actively listening and taking notes, you are soaking up the information and becoming a better debater. The vast majority of the people on the debate team understand that school is very important. So if there's no pressure to skip a class and come into the debate office, there is no pressure to go to every single tournament if you have an exam the following week. It's very easy to navigate the time planning if you believe that you can.
Yeah, Model UN is not technically an academic team. We actually don't get funding to the university, and we only have one mandatory meeting a week. So it's not that time intensive unless you're going on a conference, which is you're going to miss your Thursday and Friday classes. But you're given excuse letters, so it's not that bad. And you don't have to go. You can choose when to go. So if I really want to go to Montreal for this conference, but I know that I have a midterm the day after I get back, then you might say, I'm not going to go to Montreal this year. And those are tough decisions that as an adult now, you're going to be forced to make. But as somebody who works 15 hours a week, average, in addition to, taking a pretty hefty course load, it's definitely manageable. And people in this area, I contact campus and I now work for the state, and both places are really understanding, and we'll try to accommodate your school schedules. And if things come up, they understand.
Yeah, I regularly carry 17 credits, have 4 jobs, a whole other slew of extracurriculars. I'm president of a club, and it's a lot to manage, but I will give you my best advice, which I am still working on myself, is to know your limits. So know what you can take on and what you are willing to give up if you cannot, in the event that you cannot take on everything, which is what I'm learning, but we're still standing. In terms of logistics, keep a planner, definitely, and make sure that you're not double booking yourself, because that is a regular weekly occurrence with my life.
So we probably have time for one more question. Yeah. Yeah, so internships.
Oh, yeah, okay. So right now, I'm interning with State Senator Rebecca Warren, and I actually got that internship through the political science department. So a lot of your advisors will send out emails saying, hey, these senators are looking for an internship. You can apply, they're unpaid, but you can get college credit if you would like. I know another great program in the political science department is the legal internship program. So it's with a professor, and they teach you legal writing and research, and then they place you into an internship. So my internship in the fall is going to be with the ACLU of Michigan. So there's a couple different avenues that you can have access to internships.
So for James Madison, actually, it's required that you complete an internship so that you can graduate. And they're actually really sensitive, if you do need to have a paid internship, the office that they have specifically for the field experience will move mountains to find you a paid internship. I've never had to use it because regardless of all of those services they provide to me, also honors college emails, they're throwing jobs at you in these emails all the time. I interned for a state rep for a summer for fun. I work for the Department of Transportation right now. I make really good money there, and I'm using it for my field experience, and it's what I'm interested in studying in grad school. So there are definitely a lot of opportunities, both jobs, internships. Even if you don't have a 33 on the ACT and you can't do professorial assistantship, professors are still always looking for help, and they're often going to pay you. We also have a program called, it's the Provost Undergraduate Research Initiative, and that's a grant you can apply for if you want to work on research. You just apply for it, and they'll pay you to do research as an undergraduate. So there are lots of options if you want to do research or if you want internships or jobs. I think just read your email, honestly, and you'll find what you're looking for.
Yeah, or go up to professors and ask them, say, hey, I'm interested in what you're researching, can I help you? And even if they say, no, I don't need help right now, they're going to connect you with someone that wants help and can, be an opportunity for you.
My major, zoology, specifically my focus with zoo and aquarium studies, has an internship as a graduation requirement too. So, you know, I haven't taken it yet because I'm a sophomore, but I am aware of all of the opportunities that I will have to, you know, accomplish that requirement for school credit. You know, I'm on the zoology mailing list, I'm on the pre-vet mailing list, I'm on the Honors College mailing list, and if I wasn't here right now, I would be working in a zoo on northern Michigan, working on, you know, nutritional research in that zoo. That was an opportunity that was provided to me that I didn't take because I'm here. So, yeah, that's stuff.
I'm here. Well, can you all give our panelists a round of applause? Thank you all for helping. I believe Casey or Mr. Harrington, I don't know what you all address him as.
Casey's fine.
Okay, you have some announcements
Thank
for
you all.
as well.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then when we come back,